2. Finn, the tiny doorman, pushes open the heavy, solid wood door. Upon entering the cold interior of the McMansion's large entryway, I am met by my host Robert Ban, who says jovially, "Mr. Finch, I'm so glad you were able to make it. I have no desire to be in a Hong Kong brothel, but it is important that I meet with Robert and ingratiate myself with him, no matter how distasteful I may find my surroundings. Call me Finn," I tell him, reaching out to take his pudgy hand in a firm handshake. You can tell a lot about a person from their handshake, whether they are weak and easily manipulated, or if they are aggressive and overly self-assured. Robert's handshake is a happy medium. Let's get business out of the way, and then we can relax and enjoy the night's entertainment. He smiles, leading me into a small sitting room and flopping down on the overly stuffed couch. I sink into the chair, kitty-corner to him, and attempt to relax. My business partner, Peter Stein, had put me in contact with Robert, who is now the Chief Operating Officer, COO of his family's tech firm, Ban & Sons, telling me he would make an excellent contact for the private deal we've been working on. Peter and I have known each other since our days at Cambridge and have recently been working on combining some of our business interests. His uncle, who he'd been like a son to, passed away 5 years ago. But he'd verbally and privately promised Peter a piece of his company, McKay International. Although Peter is now a large shareholder and member of the board of directors, the new CEO limits his power, thus complicating our efforts to merge. The company's manufacturing interests would pair perfectly with my transportation company, and it's been our goal to combine them into a new, larger, more powerful corporation. We haven't given up. After several years, despite the complications, we have raised the capital we need and are working on finding some struggling manufacturing corporations we can take over at a discount price. We also need a state-of-the-art tracking system for our new company to more efficiently track our products from manufacturing to transport and distribution. That's where Robert and his company come in. But right now, I'm exhausted. Since I left Boston, the last 2 days have been non-stop traveling and meetings. It started with a contentious brunch in D.C. with several overpaid lawyers, followed by unproductive cocktails in Chicago, and then a red-eye to San Francisco, before flying here to Hong Kong, only to be swept up into more mind-numbing meetings where nothing ever seemed to be accomplished. I am beginning to seriously question the viability of several of the companies whose CEOs I met with over the past 2 days. These men had very little interest in actually discussing anything business-related, unless I came prepared to agree with them carte blanche, and instead of negotiating, they attempted to impress me with their golf handicap. If you have time to play enough fucking golf to have that good a handicap, then you must not take your company too seriously. And I won't be giving you any of my fucking money or contracting you to work for my company. Not surprisingly, it was the women-run textile companies I met with this morning over breakfast, which had their fucking shit together and came to the table ready to actually negotiate. With them, I was able to make several lucrative deals. Afterward, they probably went out to buy knockoff handbags and shoes, because every smart business person knows when to cut corners. And I got ready to meet Robert and come to this fucking overpriced brothel. This isn't your typical low-rent establishment. For security and secrecy, you aren't even told where you are. A driver picks you up at your hotel, and then you are driven in a dark sedan with blackened windows, the destination. If it was my business, and I wanted to avoid being found, I'd also have a number of houses across the city. That way I could change locations at unpredictable times, but not have to cease normal operations. Not that I would ever own a brothel. I may be a lot of things, but I'm not a whoremonger. A waitress, who I am assured by Robert does not understand English, brings us drinks, and we quickly get down to business. From Peter's intel, I know that Robert's company is in talks with our major competitor, and it is up to me to get him interested in our fledgling company. Convince him there's more potential growth with us. Ban & Sons has not only the technology, but also the infrastructure to handle our needs. Our meeting isn't long, and I am struck by how intelligent and diligent my host is when discussing business. He came actually willing to negotiate and have a productive conversation. We may not have come to any finite terms, but I'm well on the way to convincing him that his company should work with me. I like him already. Once our meeting has concluded, we walk down the hall and enter a large cigar smoke-filled lounge. I am surprised to see the CEO of one of my company's largest subcontractors, LDC Limited. They are with several of his associates. They are sitting on the large, soft leather sofas and chairs in front of a small raised platform where several women are dancing, close to the action as possible. I choose the couch furthest away and closest to the long bar that runs the length of the room. Robert drops down next to me and looks around the room expectantly. Casually peering at my watch, I wonder when I can make my exit without insulting my host. I got what I came for. Private, productive meeting with Robert. Now it's time to leave. "Sir, you are back," a tiny woman says excitedly in Mandarin, trotting over as fast as her heels can take her. She wraps her slender arms around Robert's neck and sits on his lap. I watch as his face brightens and he blushes with the attention. The tart is barely dressed and has enough makeup caked on for 10 women. Definitely not my type. I prefer my women with a natural look. "What can I get you, sir?" A soft, quivering female voice asks in perfect English, catching my full attention and making my head snap up and look at its owner. Beneath the mounds of dark makeup, nervous green, familiar, eyes stare back at me. Fuck. I shake my head, still not believing whom I see standing before me. It cannot possibly be Peter's cousin. I have seen plenty of pictures of her throughout the years, and her resemblance to my friend is undeniable. There have been no rumors of her missing, and my friend would have told me. Is it really Lily McKay? I need to come up with a way to get this girl alone. Find out for sure. "Sir, a scotch, but only 1 ice cube." I take a deep breath and suppress the building anger within. I would bet money, something I rarely do, that Lily is not here, because she wants to be. Fuck. There is no way I can leave now. Peter knew I couldn't possibly leave without her. This insane whirlwind trip Peter coerced me into taking is starting to make perfect sense. "I have never seen an American here before," Robert says in perfect French, surprising me. His serious scowl and switching to another language that presumably many around us don't understand quickly tells me he also senses something is off. "Don't worry," I reply in the same language. "I'll make sure she is okay." He nods his head, seeming satisfied with my answer, and is quickly distracted by the woman on his lap, who is kissing his neck and touching and stroking his chest. One of the other tarts moves to sit on my lap, but I gently push her off, crossing my legs to discourage any further attempts. Lily soon reappears next to my chair, holding a tumbler of my favorite amber liquid. "Thank you," I say politely, as Lily hands me the drink. When our fingertips touch, a warm spark floods through me. I know it's not the alcohol. I haven't even taken a sip yet. When I look up, I catch her gazing down at my left hand as if looking for something. It is not the first time I have caught a woman checking to see if I am married. From my vantage point, I can see a majority of the room. Pretending to be entranced by the performance on the stage, like the rest of the men, I let my gaze follow Lily around the room. She serves several men drinks, and they barely acknowledge her. The ones that do, she deftly sidesteps their wandering hands like a pro. Several of the men who casually attempt to molest her are the same fucking men I have done business with. Not anymore. I make a point of ignoring her. You never know with some of these competitive assholes, they might notice my interest and then automatically decide Lily must be worth having. Or worse, they could recognize her. Several of them have had dealings with her late father's company. Hopefully, she hasn't recognized any of them either. It is safer for everyone if she is just another tart to them. Part of the exorbitant entrance fee went toward anonymity with the management. When Robert arranged our night out, he assured me that no one but those in attendance, who I already knew, would know who I was. Lily leaves the room for several minutes, and when she returns with a platter of crab cakes, I smile as I watch her quickly devour one. Having taken several myself, I know how delicious they are. After spending entirely too long fending off the other women who are throwing themselves at me, their nauseating perfume making me dizzy as they invade my space and attempt to grope me repeatedly, I decide it is time to figure out a way to get Lily alone. Rising, I walk over toward the man standing in the corner who is watching everything. After a quick conversation and an exchange of even more money, my entrance fee didn't include private entertainment. I walked back to finish my drink, assured that Lily would be waiting for me in a room upstairs when I'm ready. Picking up my glass, I take the final sip. Out of the corner of my eye, I watch as the overseer roughly grabs Lily's arm and pulls her aside. No doubt he's telling her that she has a customer for the evening. He walks away from her, and Lily looks around the room seeming nervous before quickly leaving. It is growing late and several of the men, Robert included, have started drifting away upstairs with the women. They say goodnight with overly aggressive handshakes and promises for future meeting. I sit and bide my time, not wanting to seem eager or complicit in their activities, silently observing.
Thank you for listening to the video. Please have your support by giving a thumb up, shares, and hit the button to subscribe our channel. Thank you so much and see you in the next video. Bye.